Ciao ragazzi, this is Talk Calcio TV on YouTube. So, welcome to this episode of Talk Calcio TV, where of course we give this weekend's preview and prediction of all the fixtures. Just a reminder though, of course, next week, this time, we are off to Rome, the Eternal City. We are going to be at the game, of course, on the Sunday. That is Roma taking on the Rossoneri AC Milan at the Stadio Olimpico. We're going to be sat on the cover, Sud. We're going to be in with the Ultras. Like I say, I don't know how much we're going to get of the game, but follow us on our build-up, on our journey round Rome. That'll be Talk Calcio's Roman holiday, so don't forget that one. So, on with the results then. We have, starting with Atalanta versus Fiorentina in Bergamo. Predictions, we're going to go for a home win here. Of course, Fiorentina last week beaten by Juventus. I think that way Atalanta, and of course, they're playing in the Europa League right now as well. Obviously, they would have rested key players for the game. So we're going to go for a home win, I think, on that one. And then we have a relegation dogfight, of course. We have Benevento at the bottom against Crotone, who are just above the bottom three. Benevento showed amazing resilience against Roma at the Olimpico last week. They took the lead after 5 minutes. It's fair to say they ran out of steam, and in the end they were beaten 5-2, probably harsher than the scoreline really there. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. I just think, obviously, Benevento, despite all their efforts, it's just not happening for them, is it? So we're going to go for a Crotone, a draw on that one, I should say. Bologna versus Sassuolo, the Rossoblu taking on the Nero Verdi. Both had to keep hold of strikers, given bids from Napoli in the transfer window, of course. Simone Verdi, of course, is injured for Bologna. Matteo Politano, of course, he is still at Sassuolo. He, so say, wasn't allowed to even speak to Napoli, whereas we're now told the latest rumours. For this one, I'm going to go for a home win for the Rossoblu, so it's Bologna to win there. Then we have Chievo against Cagliari. Well, Chievo's form recently is very worrying. The Flying Donkeys are quite frankly coming back down to earth with a bang. At the moment, it is only Crotone and other teams below them bad form that is keeping them out of the bottom three. Of course, below them is their cross-city rivals, Verona. Surely a city can't have two teams relegated in the same season, can it? On this one, prediction-wise though, I think we're going to go for a draw on this one. Cagliari haven't been impressive, and nor have been Chievo. I think we'll say draw on this one. Genoa versus Inter Milan. Now, whatever the outcome of this result, you can't blame me anymore, because every time I predicted Inter win, they were drawing. Predicted a draw last week and they won. That hoodoo is over, so I think whatever I predict the result here is not going to have any bearing. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. Of course, Inter just edged it last week at the San Siro. They haven't been convincing. Of course, Mauro Icardi is still likely to be out injured. I think that is going to be a gloss. Adair, though, is firing right now on all cylinders in his replacement. Then we have Lazio hosting Verona. Now, Lazio, of course, came unstuck previous Monday night before against Genoa at home. They were then absolutely squashed by Napoli last week, despite taking the 1-0 lead. I expect this, though, they'll get back to winning ways. Of course, now that they are below Roma as well, they have that extra incentive and motivation to get back into fourth place. We're going to go for a home win for the Biancoceleste at the Stadio Olimpico, the stadium we will be at next week when Roma take on AC Milan. Then we have, of course, the big game on this Sunday night is AC Milan at the San Siro against Sampdoria. For this one, I'm going to go for a draw. Purely because obviously Milan just can't seem to put two wins together, as we know. Sampdoria have also been in impressive form recently. I think this has got the ingredients of a stalemate, so we're going to say draw on this one. Then we have league leaders Napoli against Spal. Now, of course, Maurizio Sarri, the Napoli coach, was unhappy given the fact that, of course, they're playing in the Europa League right now against Red Bull Leipzig. He was unhappy at the fact they have to take to the pitch just 60 hours after this game is finished. However, I shouldn't think that is going to make much difference. I still expect them to win convincingly. We're going to go for a home win for Napoli, and we expect them to still be leading Serie A at the end of round 25. Then, of course, as we mentioned in our previous episode yesterday, it is the Turin derby, the Derby della Mole. It is the Granata hosting the Bianconeri at the Stadio Olimpico in Turin. I said it in my prediction yesterday, I can see Juventus coming unstuck. If there's one game where it's likely to happen, and if there's one team that would love to put a dent in their Scudetto bids, hopes rather, it's going to be Torino. I said it yesterday, we're going to go for a home win for Torino, and I stick by that. So that is the Granate to beat their cross-city rivals on that one. Last but not least, of course, we have a Saturday kickoff, which is Udinese against Roma at the Dacia Arena. The Giallorossi, of course, won 1-0 last year thanks to a goal from Belgian Radjo Nangolan, who's currently out injured. In that game, also, when Edin Dzeko put a penalty into orbit, as you remember. Obviously, Roma finally ended their winless streak last week. Now, Cengiz Ünder, could that be the story of the season? Hadn't been given much game time. He has now scored 3 goals in the last 2 games. Roma do, of course, play Shakhtar Donetsk on the Wednesday in the Champions League. Massimo Otto's side Udinese, of course, they came beaten last week by Torino away in controversial circumstances. I'm going to go for a draw on this one. Purely based on Roma's away form, and of course Udinese's impressive form at the Dacia Arena, so we're going to say draw. So those were our previews and predictions. So tell us what you think. Who will lead Serie A at the end of round 25? Like, comment below, tell us what you think. Who will win the big game, of course, between Torino and Juventus? And don't forget to subscribe, Talk Calcio TV on YouTube with myself, Domenico, and we'll speak to you on our next episode. Arrivederci, ciao!